Hi everyone, I just thought I'd do a little cooking vlog. This is just a really cheap and easy, quick kind of cheap meal because I'm not making the sauce from scratch. This is just a meal that our family like and it feeds a lot. There's a lot of us. So in a slow cooker, now this recipe you can cook it all day in a slow cooker. I'm only cooking it for about an hour. Just because I like using the slow cooker for this meal. One, because slow cooker can hold a lot of meat in a lot of sauce to feed the family, and two, because it's non-stick, so it's better than the frying pan. So in it at the moment we just have, or I just have some chicken, 4 breasts of chicken in here that have just been cut up. So I'm just browning that off so that it's no longer kind of, you can see that it's raw. Then when that's kind of done in a couple of minutes, I will add this Lloyd Grossman tomato and basil sauce. Really, really nice. I've just got an extra little jar because I'm cooking for about 8 of us. So yeah, it's going to be feeding a lot. So you have to have one big jar and one little one. And then what I do is put that in, and I'll leave that for half an hour in there, just stirring every now and then. And then for the last half hour, I'll add in some pasta and maybe a cup of water, because obviously the water cooks down, just so that the pasta doesn't get stuck to the pan. And then maybe for the last, well, in fact, when I add the pasta as well, you can add broccoli to it. You can either have broccoli to the side in a pot, or add broccoli into the slow cooker or frying pan. You can do it in the frying pan as well, I suppose. Add broccoli into the frying pan at the same time as you're going to add the pasta and this Lloyd Grossman sauce. But yeah, this feeds about 8 of us, and it can also be left to go cold. You can eat it later on in the evening or have it for lunch the next day. So I'll show you again when I'm adding the sauce. So as you can see, that's the chicken kind of browned off. As I'm just going to, I've cut the chicken up. I'll just use this fish slice, and I'll just cut the chicken up into smaller pieces, just because we prefer it that way. We don't like the big chunks, we prefer the little ones, and I think it looks better. So yeah, so they're just being cut up to make sure the chicken's more or less cooked all the way through. Just cut it up like that, and I'm now going to drain off this excess fluid. I'm not going to be picking the slow cooker up. I'll use like a ladle, tip it to one side and drain out this fluid, and then I'll add the sauce. So now, as you can see, that's the liquid kind of drained off. I'm just going to add sauce. What I normally do is I'll just fill a little bit of water up in the jar to get the excess sauce off. Mix it about, and then as I said, I'll put the lid on it, leave it for about 10 minutes just to get going with the sauce, and cook in that sauce for about 10 minutes. And then for the last half hour, I'll add the pasta and the broccoli, just for a little bit of extra water, because the water does cook out with the heat. So there you go, that's it with the sauce. Right, so that's the 2 jars of sauce added into the chicken. As I said, the chicken was left to brown. Usually it takes about 15 minutes. And then I add this sauce, leave it about 10-15 minutes just to soak up the sauce. And then just for the last half an hour, or even 40 minutes, I'll put in the pasta and I'll put in the broccoli. And then you just stir it every now and then, and just leave it to cook until the pasta is cooked to your liking. It's usually about an hour and 10 minutes. As I said, I'm using the slow cooker. This can be put on first thing in the morning, and you can just leave it with the sauce and the chicken, again on a low heat, and leave it all day. And then again, just for the last half hour, turn it up high, bung in your pasta and broccoli. But I'm just doing this quick meal for an hour just because it's non-stick, because it's a nice big deep pan. I can get a lot in there that feeds a lot of us. I do warn you, it's messy. My cooker's now covered in the tomato and basil splatters. But yeah, it smells amazing. Might not look much just now, but so yeah. So that's also had, when I put the sauce in, I just filled up the big jar halfway up with water, just to kind of get the excess sauce out of the jar, but also the extra water just helps cook the pasta when the pasta's in. If you think it's a little bit dry as you're cooking, don't be scared to add a little bit more water. The water will cook out eventually anyway, so the sauce will stay thick. So there you go, and we'll come back when I add the pasta and the broccoli. So everyone, so that's the 2 jars of sauces added and the broccoli. I didn't have a lot of broccoli, but it's going to be cut up into small pieces as it cooks. I've also added another half a cup of water. The amount of pasta I use is a 500-gram bag. As I said, I'm cooking for a lot of people. You don't have to use that much pasta. You can use any shaped pasta you want, any kind of pasta you want. Yeah, we just prefer this pasta. I like it just because it cooks quite quickly rather, sorry. And obviously as the broccoli cooks down, I'll be chopping it up into smaller pieces. Usually I have a lot more broccoli, but I didn't realise I didn't have a lot left in my bag. So yeah, so this just gets mixed around. If you find that it's dry and maybe sticking to the bottom of the pan, you just add a bit more water. It's fine, it doesn't affect the flavour whatsoever. So the temperature's just been turned down just slightly. It's now on 120, and that's going to cook for another half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. Just depends on how well you like your pasta cooked. So yeah, that's the sauce. Pasta, broccoli and chicken. It smells amazing and it tastes amazing. So I'll come back to you again when it's done. So that's the meal finally cooked. That's it been on for an hour and 5 minutes. Just wanted to give it a little bit of extra with some water. Looks kind of sticky, stodgy, but that's how we like it. So that's chicken, pasta, broccoli, and the Lloyd Grossman tomato and basil sauce. So I just dish some up on my plate. As you can see, I cut up the broccoli. The colour's not showing up very well on this camera. It's not quite as kind of P-Valley. It's really, really nice. Really, really nice. Nice, stodgy, sticky meal, very filling. All in all, I think the calories, it just works to be about just over 300 calories per serving. I'm going to add a little bit more than this because I want a bigger plate. That's my second alarm in case the first one didn't go off. But yeah, it's about just over 300 calories. Again, you can leave it to go cool on the side and put it in the fridge, have it later, have it for lunch the next day, or even have it cold for dinner the next day. This serves about 8 adults, so you can have it with salad, you can have it with chips, I suppose, whatever you want. I've got no idea what the sins are for this, so if Heather, if you're watching, if you could work out the sins for this for me, please, and maybe put it in a comment below. I only just know the calories. I don't know how to work out meals in sins, but honestly, it tastes really, really nice. It does look a bit vile, but it honestly is really, really nice. You've got to try it. You don't have to use it in a slow cooker. You can cook it in the frying pan. I'll just use a slow cooker because it's non-stick and bigger. So yeah. So there's as you can see, I've chopped up all the broccoli. So it's a really, really nice family meal. Yummy, yummy. Thanks for watching, guys. Speak to you soon.